Hello, it's Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. Today is Quick Tip Monday. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Thanks for joining me today. So I'm going to be using the stamp set Back to Back Blooms. And this is a reversible stamp set. And it is in our mini catalog, January to June 2021. On page 63, you'll find all the images in the stamp set. And if you haven't used reversible stamps before, then stay with me and we'll use this and we'll make a quick card. So inside, these are photo polymer stamps. So they are the ones you can see through. They're clear. And this is the new case. And some of you may have those now, but they're going to, Stampin' Up! Is going to make the cases so you can add your stamps right inside the case. And you can just match those up with each of the stamps. So that's pretty neat, isn't it? And of course, what does reversible mean? It means that you can stamp on your block this way. And we'll ink that up and stamp. And then you'll want to use the chamois and clean your block. And then you can turn the stamp over and ink it up and stamp again. And that is what we're going to do today. We're going to start with a basic white cardstock for our card base, 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half and scored. I'm going to lay that aside. And I'm going to be using some DSP and also one of our new In-Colors, Freesia. I'm saying that, I'm not sure I'm saying that quite correctly, but we'll get it figured out here eventually. I'm using the Playing with Patterns, and this DSP is retiring and is very colorful. So if you like colorful prints, I think that you will want to pick up some of the Playing with Patterns DSP before it's gone. So I'm going to use this, and I went ahead and I cut it the same as the front of our card, so I'm going to go ahead and add that. I find it is easier if I open up my card base and line it up. And then I just have a little trimming to do because I wanted to make sure that it covered the card. So I did make it just a little bit longer. And that way I can just cut this off. I'd rather do that than have it too short. Bringing in a scrap of basic white and bringing in our fresh Freesia ink. So I'm going to stamp using the largest flower image, and you can start either way. I'm going to do the smooth side, and I'm going to go ahead and ink this up, and I am going to stamp off first. So I'm going to stamp off, and then onto my scratch paper. And then I'm going to clean this with my chamois. And look how clean that is. Not my chamois, it's not very clean. And then we're going to turn this over. And now I have the detail. Now you could do either way. Now this time I am not going to stamp off. And that is how it's supposed to look, so you can have, it's not going to match up exactly. Let's go ahead and do it one more time. Now I'm going to start with the detailed to show you that you can do either one. And then let me clean. So I clean my stamp. I'm going to turn that over, so now we have the flat side. And I'll ink that up. So let's try that again. So the tip that we just discovered is that when you turn them over, you do want to make sure that you press it down, okay? And make sure it's dry. Okay, now, and again, we're doing the flat side because we've already stamped the detailed one. And of course, this ink pad is brand new, so it is fairly juicy. Now again, I want to stamp off. And then I'm going to stamp on. Okay, so we have 2 flowers we can choose from. So let's close this up. And then I'm just going to fussy cut the large flower out. And I'm going to be moving the cardstock and not the scissors. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. If you hit that bell notification, you'll be notified when I upload videos. I usually upload quick tips on Monday, and on Thursday, I also upload card ideas to help give you inspiration. All right. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to bring in basic black, and this is a 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, so it's a square. And then the Fresh Freesia, which is our new In-Color, is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2 square, and it will layer right on top of our black. And then basic white, 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So we're just going to layer those 3 together. We are going to add our flower. Back-to-Back Blooms does not have any sentiments, so I'm going to use, here's a card. This is a great stamp set. If you don't have it, you might want to pick it up during the last chance product sale, because this will be retiring. And I'm going to choose I Made You a Card Because You're Worth It. And then here is the stamp. And I'm going to use my grid, that line on my grid paper, and then just bring my block, and that way we have it lined up straight. So we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment in Memento Black. So I'll ink that up. I'm going to kind of place my card or my flower where I want that to be, just to make sure that I have room. I made you a card because you're worth it. Okay. And then let's put our card together. So I'm going to bring in the silicone craft sheet, which I really like because adhesive does not stick on it. And I'm going to bring in our Stampin' Seal Plus, and we'll put these layers together. And we will line this up. Then we are going to do some magic with our dimensionals. When I say magic, we're just going to be adding a lot of dimensionals. I'm going to turn this over and add dimensionals. If you're going to hand deliver this card, you could get by with 5, 1 each corner, 1 in the middle. But I am going to send this. So I'm going to go ahead and add this right now. So I'm going to try to line it up with the same amount on the left as on the right. The up above and down below, I can kind of use those lines for that. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and add dimensionals to this. And I did just add 5 dimensionals on the back. And then we're going to layer this. This is a quick card. It's a great way to use up some of your DSP that you have. And now we will turn over our flower, and I'm going to use the mini dimensionals and pop this up. So I added the mini dimensionals, and we'll bring this card in, and we will add our little flower. So we have I made you a card because you're worth it. And we can stamp a flower inside. Let's add some embellishments. I'm going to bring in the In-Color Jewels for 2021 to 2023. And we will add, get my take your pick tool. And I find if you kind of just bend it over the plastic that it's on, then you can get your take your pick tool underneath there. Sometimes I do better with the pointy one than I do with the spatula. And we have larger and smaller. So I used one larger gem, a smaller. I'm going to use one more, I think right in the middle. So here we go. I made you a card because you're worth it. And of course, if you like a bow, you could also, but I think on this particular card, I just like the embellishments, the jewels. So I made you a card because you're worth it. So we use a reversible stamp. So all the stamps are reversible. You can just turn them over. Just make sure you clean them. And then when you do turn them over, press them down a little bit so they don't fall off like like it did on my video today. So today we use the back-to-back blooms, which is a reversible stamp set. And in the mini catalog on page 63, it does say that this artwork is only at 60%. So the images are actually larger when you get your stamps. And then we did use a retiring. Here's a card, clean stamp set for our sentiment. And then we used the new In-Color Fresh Freesia. The new In-Color gems or jewels. And the new In-Color Fresh Freesia cardstock. And the retiring playing with patterns. So I hope you like this video. I hope you like the fun card that we made using reversible stamps. And have a great week.